Welcome to a very special feature on South Carolina Stingrays TV. Joseph Zakshesky with you, the broadcaster and voice of the Stingrays, and I'm joined alongside a very special guest today and former Stingrays player, captain, and head coach, Cail MacLean. And the last time we had an opportunity to really catch up with Cail was back in the summer of 2011 when he made his announcement that he was moving up to the American Hockey League with the Abbotsford Heat as an assistant coach. But now he is back in the Low Country helping out head coach and director of hockey operations Spencer Carberry with his youth hockey camp at the Carolina Ice Palace. Cail, first and foremost, it's great to see you back down here. How have things been? And I know a lot of fans, they don't get to see you all that often. So what's been new? It's been a few years.
Definitely been a few years. Always great to get back to the Low Country and certainly to be able to take part in something like this along with Spencer. And you know, it's been a busy few years. I've been in a lot of places, had some good travels, and certainly working on our little family that we've got. My daughter's 3.5 years old now, and we are living down south. We love the southern lifestyle, so we're in Florida right now around the Jacksonville area, and certainly just enjoying being in these parts, enjoying the good weather, and working on youth hockey. So it's great to get around the Ice Palace and reconnect with people in the Stingrays organization and reconnect with the youth that are in this area. And certainly we're having a lot of fun this week.
Now, take us through some of your trips, and we'll start with that first announcement that you made when you went up to the Abbotsford Heat of the American Hockey League. You got reunited with an old coach of yours from the ECHL days up in Trenton when you played with the Titans and Troy Ward. So you got 2 years of experience with them, and you got to a little exposure at the National Hockey League level as well, just to see how things run with the Calgary Flames. So those are two pretty big years for you in terms of coaching and acquiring a lot of knowledge.
Definitely great years working under Troy Ward. I had played under him previously and certainly knew that from playing with him. He was a very knowledgeable and a great teacher, and you know, I was not disappointed in that area. It was certainly just sort of like getting your master's in hockey. I felt like he was just really knowledgeable, and we had a great time in terms of what we brought to the table as a staff, and we worked really hard and enjoyed our time out there in Abbotsford, and certainly appreciate that opportunity from Troy. And he's been fortunate enough to move on himself from Abbotsford, now just down the road to Vancouver, and work with the junior team, and certainly we'll have good memories of a great experience and good growth there.
Now, you mentioned that you've traveled quite a bit, and certainly fans and players, coaches alike, staff alike know what it's like to travel in the ECHL by bus everywhere you go. But you were in Abbotsford, BC, which was all the way on the West Coast, and you had to play American Hockey League teams. I think the closest one was in Rockford, Illinois, by several hundred miles. So you had to get used to travel in a whole new way going up to the American League.
Definitely, that was a different animal. It was a lot of flights. Everywhere we went on the road were flights, and we was usually at least 2 time zones. Most of the time we had to cover 3 in order to get to our even division rivals. So it was certainly a tough schedule in that respect. It was something that the Calgary organization has since gone on and changed due to that toughness, because they felt like a lot of practices were lost due to the travel time. But what a great experience to do that. I worked with the travel side, so I was involved in working on flights and getting things ready and handling those aspects. So that was a great experience, although a difficult one, but a great experience for sure.
So after your time with the Abbotsford Heat, you would pack up the family and pursue another opportunity over in Kimball Union, the prep school up in New Hampshire. So you moved from Charleston to British Columbia, and then from British Columbia all the way back across New Hampshire. 1 year as a varsity coach there, I believe. What were your experiences like there? Because I knew it was a little bit of a change of pace from a professional game.
A huge change of pace for sure, and it was something that family-wise we felt my wife and I really needed with our young daughter. Just forming in her life, we wanted to be close to her and make sure that she had some good surroundings. And so we found ourselves at Kimball Union Academy, which is a great school in New Hampshire. And I worked with the girls varsity team, which was another new experience. The hockey was very different from what I'd been used to, and the level was lower, but the certainly the fulfillment and the fun and the camaraderie we had with the team and with the people around school was just something that I can't speak highly enough of. I think that it was a very good year that way, and fun for our family, and we certainly enjoyed that, but also at the same time felt we want to keep moving along. We're trying to find that right lifestyle as a young family, and we're always turning over every rock we can, and considering pro and considering considering staying down in the south area and trying to settle and get some roots there. So we've had fun. We've certainly got a lot of experiences and feel pretty grateful for that.
Well, you're up in New Hampshire, and you mentioned you and your family are very much enjoying the southern lifestyle, the warm weather, the beach, the water. They had one of the worst winters up there in recent history, so I'm sure that was a tough, I guess, initiation process to go through in your first year up there.
Definitely. It reminded me of being young in Nova Scotia, which it wasn't a surprise for me, but I think my little one who hadn't been in snow was pretty shocked, and she had a blast in terms of the outdoor winter sports and sledding, and so didn't her parents. Like, we definitely had fun, and it was a tough one. Everybody up north felt like this was the toughest one in a decade, and certainly a good experience. If you're going to be in winter, I feel like you want to be in it. Like, you want to get it and get the full effect of the snow, and so it was a great place there.
Now you've made your way down the East Coast once again and settling up, I believe, in Jacksonville, Florida, where you had some time as a player and spent some time in the ECHL there. I believe you met your wife there, if I'm not mistaken, or at least that's what I've been told. So it's kind of a return home for you and your family, and I'm sure it's a perfect spot for the little one to grow up to as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a perfect spot. We feel really good about it. It's a return home in terms of where we met. We've got family, or not family, but friends in the area, and also to be within a short drive of Charleston is very big for us and our hockey family that's here. Like no other in pro hockey for us, like, this is the one place that really stands out in our mind as being a place where we always feel comfortable in. So many people we love here, so we're excited about that, and I'm excited to take this year and work on the youth hockey aspect and work there and work here in Charleston and see if we can just do our best to continue to grow hockey at a grassroots level and do what I love to do, which is teach the game, so it'll be a fun year.
Now, Cail, I mean, you spoke volumes right there about what Charleston means to you in terms of a community and how it impacted you and your family. But, I mean, when you look at it, and we've said it numerous times on many interviews, just the amount of alumni that live in the area or in a short drive of the area, but it seems to have a lasting impact, and you want to call this home for foreseeable future.
Yeah, definitely. It's no mistake why there's so many people who did play in here with the Stingrays and have since stayed in the area. And I think that starts from the top down, like the Zucker family and the other families that have been involved. They've just been such gracious hosts and such good leaders in terms of how they run their organization. And the result is that people, they care about the community they live in, and they care about the organization that they're a part of, and they really feel connected. And, when this day and age, we're getting further and further away from many players that, they always are very driven and want to move up. But I think still you have a lot of players that feel really good about being at this level if they're in South Carolina, because they feel like they're well taken care of and they have an organization that cares about them. And it really shows when you see them living around town.
And when you come back to town, you're reunited with all sorts of former teammates and players that you coached when you were back behind the bench as an assistant when you won the championship in 2009 and as a head coach. And one of those players is the head coach and director of hockey ops right now, and head coach Spencer Carberry. And you're working together at the youth camp, the South Carolina Stingrays youth camp here at the Carolina Ice Palace. But what's it like to be back and working alongside a gentleman that looked up to you and followed your orders?
Yeah, it's great. Spencer is someone who's been very active and curious, and so it's pretty cool to see where he's come, and he's every bit the coach that I am and I want to be as we move forward in terms of putting in his time in Charleston and really working at his craft. And now he's going on, with enough experience where he's got things dialed in, and certainly even shows in a camp like this where he's run it, for years now, and we're very organized, and that's the kind of person he is. So it's neat to get back and see him and see how detailed he is and how hard he's working and how much he's grown over the years, and certainly has a really bright future, as the Outstanding Coach of the Year award showed, that the organization's fortunate to have him. We're all glad to have him as a friend, and it's certainly great for the youth hockey players around here.
Under Stingrays president, Hall of Famer, and former player Rob Kincannon, we love to organize the alumni games for our fans here in the area. So I have to ask, Cail, next alumni game, can we count you in since you're so close?
I think I'm pretty close. I would say that it looks good. I don't know when is it? When is it?
It would be opening night if we have it.
Oh, it looks good, and I will certainly try because I just love coming to visit. I was so happy to be rolling into town a couple days ago, and I've stayed with Nate Kaiser and Spencer Carberry, and I'll see, you know, the Matt Shearers and DJ Churches and Johan Krols and just so many of them around. John Williams, if I can run into them, like everyone just in the area that it's so fun to catch up with, including the Stingrays, people like yourself and Robbie and Spencer. So it's a good, fun time to visit.
And with that saying, you get to see these guys grow up. Like you mentioned, you had a family of your own. Right when you left, I believe your daughter was just new to the world. And now you mentioned she's 4 years old. But our team captain and a guy you coach, Matt Shear, just had his very first one as well. So you get to see these guys grow up as adults, not only as hockey players.
Yeah, definitely. Very cool. And again, that's a product of them, you know, being so so loyal to this area and sticking around. So you get to sort of follow them through life. And it's very rare. I've played on many teams, as you know, coached on many teams, and certainly have never run into a situation where I've stayed connected to so many players. It's just the transient nature of the business. It doesn't usually promote that. And this is an area where it really does. Like when you have a gathering, you're bound to run into people you played with, people you might have coached, people that were above you and showed you the ropes and sold you your first home when you came into town, and now are the president of the Stingrays. Like it's just amazing, the connections and how tight people are. It's great.
Coach MacLean, thank you so much for taking the time, and enjoy the rest of the week with the youth hockey camp, and we hope to see more of you around here.
Thank you very much, Joseph. Glad to see everything's going really well, and everybody, including yourself, is doing a fantastic job, and the Stingrays are in good hands.
Thank you very much, sir. Former Stingrays head coach, team captain, and player, Cail MacLean here on Stingrays TV.